Astralis are your IEM Katowice major champions, and of course, we're going to interview the MVP of the tournament, Magisk. Look, I mean, I'm sure this is something that a lot of people expected, but still, though, just in the way that you guys won in this final was quite convincing. Tell me about the train win first, and kind of how you managed to close it out in the end, because for a second it kind of looked like Eds would be able to pull it back. So can you talk to me about the ending of the first map at least?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that they were a really good team on train. We kind of predicted that they would take it. So we had a really good preparation about the map and how they played on it. I felt like a lot of the stuff we did in the preparation was helping us a lot on the T side as well, especially, but also on our CT side. We won a lot of rounds because of the preparation, and we knew that they had a lot of tendencies on the map, so we kind of abused that in the way we were playing, and I think it worked out really well. They obviously, I wouldn't say Inns is a weird team, but it's more like the way they're playing is making it a lot of chaos. At least on train, they were playing really fast. They were like taking every duel, like they were sitting in smokes, and suddenly they were just in your face, and that was like, I think it was calculated chaos, if that makes sense, but it was like in their favor, and we had to shut that down, and I think we did really good. Obviously, some of the rounds went in their favor, but I think they played really good CS on train, and I think it was possible for them to do a comeback, but in the end, we had some really good individual plays, Sip with some clutch, and yeah, and that's just what's needed if you want to win a major.
Speaking about the preparation that you touched on, there were a couple of ways that the veto could have gone, but I feel like this one couldn't have really surprised you, did it?
No. I mean, we were kind of thinking about if they wanted to pick Mirage because they beat Liquid on it, and they also beat Navi on it, which is the two teams which is, especially Liquid, is really good on the map. So yeah, we had the preparation on both Mirage and Train for their pick, and in the end, we were kind of convinced that they would go with Train, but we can never really predict all the vetoes 100%, so we had to do everything we could before and make sure that we were prepared for the match if they were to take another map than we would expect. And we saw that the analysts were talking about that Ends, they won the veto, and obviously that's how they feel about the veto, because when you look at the veto, Ends is always veto in cash. And so do we most of the times. But we see no reason to play a map like Cash when we feel like we're better on all of the other maps as well. Like, there's no reason to play a map in a major final for us when we can play maps we feel comfortable on. And even though people were saying that it was good for Inns to have Overpass as a third map, we still feel really confident on the map. I mean, we have put in a lot of practice on it, and I feel like against MIBI yesterday, there was a lot of rounds we should have won on the CT side, and it was maybe just one round that it would have taken for us to break their economy, and that would have changed like the whole half. But obviously, it's really easy to just sit down and say you should win the rounds, but I think in general we've been really good in the preparation, and that's been what's made us so comfortable also, like confident going into the matches, because we've had a good idea of how every opponent has been playing.
Now, winning back-to-back majors, being back-to-back major champions, is this the time that we can finally say, or where you will admit that you are the best lineup to ever grace CSGO?
I don't really want to be the guy saying it, because I think that feels a bit wrong. I would rather have everyone else say that we are that team. Because that's what feels the most right for us, if that makes sense. For us, it's about winning, and if we can keep winning, that's what we want to. That's our goal, to keep winning, stay on the top, get the respect from the community, from the players, all the teams, and everyone around them. That's what we are doing it for, because playing in the arenas is so amazing, and playing in front of so many people and showing good CS is what we love to do. And if that also means that we can win tournaments, that's just the perfect fit for us, yeah.
Now, this is your second MVP from the second title in a row that Astralis has got. Where do you see that your biggest improvements? Obviously, these past couple of tournaments have been undeniably improved.
I think it's so difficult analyzing yourself. I've been feeling a lot of confidence recently, so I think that has a lot to do with it. But also, I think in general, with the way I've been preparing individually for a tournament has been a bit more serious, if that makes sense. Not that I haven't been serious in all the other tournaments, but I've been focusing a bit more on my individual level because I feel like we're playing really good as a team. And if I can bring more firepower or if I can become better individually, that's only going to improve the team. So I've been focusing a lot on playing DM and, the way I've been analyzing the opponent individually have been a bit different and make sure that like when I see it, I can use it like from my. I need to see it in perspective. But like when I'm like analyzing people, I need to see it on a server. I need to go through. I need to find nays, and I can use hours on just finding one flashbang because I know that flashbang is gonna get me 2 frags, something like that. Yeah.
Now, lastly, a lot of teams have tried to beat you consistently over the past, let's say, almost a year now. None have really succeeded at that, at least not consistently. Like I said, is there any sort of advice that you would have to other teams as to how it is possible to beat Astralis?
I mean, that would be kind of silly of me saying how they could beat us, right? But I believe that in general the whole scene is getting a lot more competitive. Not that it hasn't been competitive, but I feel like with MIBR going back to 5 Brazilian players and a Brazilian coach, it's definitely going to be a threat in the future because even here they showed a lot of potential. I think they're a really good team, good individuals, a lot of experience. So with time, I believe they're going to be pretty annoying to play against. Even here, they kind of made it really close on the first map and could have gone their way as well. So yeah, and even Liquid is a dangerous team. They beat us in by Power. They have a lot of firepower now that they have Stewie instead of Taco. So they're also going to be an annoying team to play against. But in the end, the only thing we can do is focus on ourselves. And if people find a way to beat us, that's definitely something we're going to have to change, And that's something we have to try and stay ahead of, if that makes sense. Like we have to try and stay ahead of the teams all the time, even though that's probably the most difficult thing is staying ahead of the opponent. But I think for the last 8 months here, we have been doing a lot of good stuff to make sure that we improve as a team, individually, and even outside the game. And I think that's benefited us a lot, staying on the top.
Well, thank you very much. Any last words or shout-outs or anything you would like to say to your fans?
I mean, everyone who's cheering for us, every fan, it's always really appreciated. I know a guy like Dupree, he's had a rough time, but all the kind messages and the pro players, everyone who's been writing him, it means a lot for him and us that the whole community actually is so nice when we need them. And so yeah, we really appreciate the support and the love from everyone, and I hope we can keep delivering some good CS for you guys and girls as well.
Well, I'm sure that's going to happen at least. With this, we're closing out our IEM Katowice coverage, so stay tuned for the next events.